So I'm sitting here with John Mason. John Mason, of course, was a former member for Dubbo.
I think you're going to do very well in this election.
What's your impression of the Liberal Party now compared to your time?
Well, not very good at the moment, because we're more interested in what we could do for the country and for our people than we could about arguing with one another, which seems to be what they want to do at the moment. And that's very sad. And I think people like you can bring in perhaps a better approach than that to our Parliament. Well, I think it's going to be a very close election. The parties all seem to be in a bit of disarray at the moment, and I think it's going to be a very exciting election. And I think Matthew, I think you picked a very good time to stand. I think that it's a different world altogether than when I was a member, of course. Well,
what you've just said is echoed by so many people. They want to see their politicians trying to progress the country, which I know is what you were focused on doing during your 16 years. They don't want to see the petty politics, the bickering, the arguing. They want to see people trying to progress the nation, which obviously is what I'm interested in doing.
Yes, we tried to work for the best of the community. Anyway, let's hope a new day is dawning.
Yeah. I appreciate your support, and you're happy to be out there supporting me all the way through to the election, you've said.
Certainly. I think that we need a new moment. I think this is a very big opportunity for this electorate to say something to the Parliament of New South Wales, that we want somebody who's going to be independent and look at the need of our electorate and promote that, and not promote themselves. You'll find the strength and courage to do that.
Thanks, John. Appreciate your time. Good. Okay, I'm here in Narromine with Linda Holmes. Linda's a land care coordinator.
So we had a team of Shoreway Work for the Dole participants come in and work 3 days a week to develop this beautiful bush food garden that we have here. So this one in the front is a chocolate lily. That was used traditionally to sustain babies when their mother had passed away in childbirth.
Look, I think great project, and it's good to see community involvement. I've been really impressed. I've been to the museum a couple of times here. You volunteer at the museum, so I love the amount of volunteers I see as I drive around the electorate. Unbelievable. It's really what keeps the community going. So
thanks for coming out.
No worries, my pleasure.
The next program that we intend to do is out at the Macquarie Marshes. So particularly today, with you coming out here and getting to meet you face to face, I've definitely would vote for you and think, yeah, you're a wonderful person, and taking the time out to visit locals is really important and listen to our stories. So thank you.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Linda. I'm sitting here in the Narromine United Services Club with Keith Grimshaw, a long-term Narromine resident.
Well, thank you, Matthew. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate you for standing for state government, and I wish you very, very well. I feel that the Lithgow-Pindith area over the Blue Mountains is a drag on our community.
This electorate and further west, as you've already mentioned, certainly would benefit from a tunnel under the mountain. Thanks for bringing forward your ideas. It's great when people do contact me and say, let me have a talk to you, and it's a nice, comfortable environment to have a chat to people. So it's pretty clear who you're voting for, Keith.
Yes.
I
can't mention his name because he's sitting beside me. Thanks,
you. Keith, appreciate your time.
I wish you very well.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for your time and your effort of journeying out to have a talk with me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm standing here with Andrew, and we're outside what used to be the Anglican Church, and it's now owned by Training Connect, and it's being opened today for a respite center. So a pretty exciting day, Andrew.
Absolutely, we're so looking forward to it. It's been about 5 years in the making.
And I had a look through. I've been lucky enough to have a tour around, and I think what you've done with a beautiful old church and turn it into a very functional facility is absolutely magnificent. So there was obviously a lot of planning that went into that.
Absolutely. We were very lucky. The council was very good to us as well. There were no hurdles. No, everything's just gone very smoothly. With
any luck, I can be elected as a state member for this area next year, and then I'll be able to come back and see what we can do about getting some funding out here, because I think this sort of facility in a regional area is critical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks, Andrew.
No worries.
So the first poem is The Man from Ironbark by Banjo Harrison. It was the man from Ironbark who struck the Sydney town. He wandered over street and park. He wandered up and down. And whether he's believed or no, there's one thing to remark. Flowing beards are all the go, way up in Ironbark. Sitting here with Paul, I've been out on the Mandarin Road today. What are your thoughts at the moment across the Dubbo electorate in terms of the state election coming up?
I'm disillusioned with the major parties, whether it be Liberal or National or Labor. I think that realistically they're just that far away from listening to the man in the street and how we live, particularly in Dubbo, that there's got to be a better alternative, and as far as I'm concerned, you're it. I also like on a political, at a federal level and in other state electorates where we have seen a tendency for independents to be elected because they are listening to local people and they are responding to local issues. The thing that I like about having a local in the local seat is the fact that they do service their electorate.
A really good independent can achieve a lot for an electorate, and probably the most important thing that I see is they can speak up without fear or favour on behalf of the electorate, so they're not bound by a party in any way, shape or form.
Absolute support, Matt. I think you'll do a wonderful job, and I'll certainly do everything I can to see it come to fruition.
Thanks, Paul.
Pleasure.
Coming to the end of a very windy day on the campaign trail today, and my day started off this morning with me doing some poetry at one of the aged care facilities here in Dubbo, and it's something I've been doing for a number of years, going out and doing some poetry, trying to entertain some people in those aged care facilities, and it's something I do at least once a month in a number of facilities, and I think people really appreciate me coming along and doing that. It gives them something a bit different for their month. But it's also my way of saying thank you to those people who have made a contribution in their lifetime, and now it's time for them to sit back and relax and have other people make a contribution to them. So thank you to those people who came along, and often you'll get some of the daughters and sons of the people in those facilities coming along and listening to the poetry that I do. I then went out along the Mandarin Road and knocked on a few doors out along that way, and one thing I am hearing a lot from people is they really appreciate the fact that I am coming around, I am talking to them, I want to hear their opinions, and I sit there and listen to them, sometimes for an hour or even more, listen to what they've got to say and make sure that if I am successful in March next year, I will be a very effective representative and a very effective voice for people across the entire electorate. Tomorrow morning I'm off to launch a cricket tournament, there's a Premier League, and then tomorrow evening I'll be out at Toongai where there's an event being held by my Rotary Club to try and just make sure the mental health of farmers in the region is okay, and that'll be quite an interesting barbecue really. It's just a chance for people to get around and talk about whatever they want to talk about, but again one of those things that I like to volunteer for a range of groups including my Rotary Club and make sure I'm there with the community. This has been Mathew Dickerson, your independent voice. You're umpiring today? No. Good morning everyone, and it's fantastic to see sport used in a way to bring people from different cultures, different countries together here in Dubbo. That the brilliant cricket being played. Congratulations, and let the cricket begin. Jim's been up. It's pretty cool. It's got a